welcome back to Channel 14 News on WCTV. I'm Caleb Yauger.
And I'm Rachel Pellegrino. Coffee, live music, and free mugs, but make it virtual. Waynesburg's SAB hosted its first virtual coffee house Thursday night. WCTV's Emma Hurley has the story.
Students hopped on Facebook and Instagram Live to watch and listen as Logan Bryce performed virtually for Waynesburg's first online coffee house Tuesday evening.
We have Mr. Logan Bryce performing from Beaver County.
Daddy's little empire built by hand and built by slave. From the sky when it looks so organized and brave.
The event was hosted by graduate assistant Michelle Keith and was shared live on social media from a local fire department.
Right now, visitors aren't allowed on campus, so we did have to do it outside of campus.
Students who liked and commented on the event were entered in a chance to receive a mug.
Here's the mug, so if you can see that, these are handmade mugs from Kiln to Table, and normally we would pass out a coffee mug to everyone who attended, but with the event being virtual, we just have no idea who's on and passing out mugs, and it's just a little bit complicated.
The number of viewers on the live at one time ranged anywhere from between 10 to 20 students.
It was really nice to just sit in my room with my roommate, just listen to the live music.
And events like these will be seen again in the future, but may take on a new twist.
Our next coffee house, we are looking to have actually students perform.
Just keep your eye out, and if there's an incentive, that's us encouraging you to go. And even if they're virtual, still come, because they're still a part of SAB and there's still something worth your while.
For WCTV, I'm Emma Hurley.
Despite COVID-19 guidelines, campus ministry continues to provide students with community worship opportunities. WCTV's Drew Rhea had the chance to attend one of these virtual events and has more on the story.
Even though Waynesburg University students can no longer fill Roberts Chapel for services every Tuesday, campus ministry has improvised in the face of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Chapel is now being held virtually, so the Waynesburg University community can still worship at a social distance. The weekly services are now streamed on YouTube and the university website to ensure students can still grow in their faith.
I'm grateful for our media services team. I'm grateful for our chapel worship team that we've all been able to come together and provide a remote live stream.
Each week, the chapel worship team can still be seen and heard online, and guest speakers deliver their personal message to viewers through the lens.
Us and move through us to redeem the soul of this beautiful nation, and grant that in so doing we might be joined to our brothers and sisters in this land of ours.
While chapel services are certainly different, University Chaplain Josh Sumter says the goal of campus ministry has remained the same.
God is faithful and our calling remains the same, so we continue to press on and try to point students in our campus community to Christ through a remote chapel.
For WCTV, I'm Andrew Rhea.
Local farmers make do with COVID-19 restrictions as they host an outside farmers market every Wednesday at 10. WCTV's Lindsay Stanger was at the scene.
It was cold to start with, and then the freeze, and then we got dry.
As summer turns to fall, Greene County farmers find hope after an uncertain harvest. Fred McCon says his yields are down nearly 30% this year.
Potatoes was terrible. Some tomatoes was okay, and the other ones didn't do well. Okay, it's been a tough year on corn too because of the rain.
Throw in a deadly virus and, well, it all just kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Mask, do you not mask? Do you do this? Do you do? We're outside. We don't feel we need to.
So many community events have been canceled due to the 2020 pandemic. However, there's still one place that people can safely gather outside, here at the farmers market. You could even say that the virus was good for business.
The cakes and the nut rolls are really good.
Sue Sargent has been bringing her baked goods to the market for nearly 20 years. But the pandemic burned out a lot of businesses like hers at first.
I usually have people that call me for something they would like to have, you know, and it's kind of slowed down there for about 2 or 3 months. Now that's fine.
For vendors who rely on street-side sales, the farmers market has made a bitter situation just a little bit sweeter. In Waynesburg, Lindsay Stinger, WCTV News.
That's all we have for local and campus news. We'll have national news when we come back. New guidance from the CDC reports that coronavirus can be spread through the air. Prior to the CDC website reported that COVID-19 was spread between people within 6 feet of each other. It had also previously said coronavirus was spread when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks. Now, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention is indicating coronavirus is more contagious. According to new guidance on the website, COVID-19 can be spread through viral particles in the air. The updated CDC page also changed language around asymptomatic transmission on Friday. The update says people who are infected but do not show symptoms spread the virus, instead of implying they might be able to do so. One prominent researcher calls the new language on the CDC website a major improvement based on the latest science. President Trump says he wants a vote on his pick to replace Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg before the election. Democrats are trying to use the court vacancy to help Joe Biden's campaign. Mary Maloney is in Washington with the latest on the political battle impacting the presidential election and the highest court in the land.
As the nation mourns the death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, President Trump is moving fast to nominate her replacement.
On Friday or Saturday, I'll be announcing the pick.
The late jurist and equal rights icon will lie in repose at the Supreme Court on Wednesday and Thursday.
We should wait till the services are over for Justice Ginsburg, and then the work begins.
The president promised to fill her seat with a woman, but who he nominates could amount to the biggest decision of Trump's presidency. 5 women are being looked at and vetted very carefully. President Trump is attempting to shift the ideological balance of the court and create a decisive 6-3 conservative majority. A conservative court is also a priority for Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who vows to give the president's nominee a vote.
The Senate has more than sufficient time to process a nomination. History and precedent make that perfectly clear.
But Democrats are mobilizing against a court appointment this close to an election.
Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's dying wish, her most fervent wish, that she should not be replaced until a new president is installed.
The Senate should not act until after the American people select their next president.
At stake, a generational shift in the makeup of the highest court in the land that could decide cases impacting health care, civil rights, and even the outcome of the presidential election. In Washington, I'm Mary Maloney.
Chinese President Xi Jinping said that, quote, the sudden attack of COVID-19 was a grave test for the entire world, end quote. The remark came in a pre-recorded speech played during the high-level meeting to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the United Nations. Xi said that the UN must stand firm for justice in the post-pandemic era. He also called unilateralism a dead end and urged the UN members to, quote, come together to uphold universal security, end quote. Police in Pennsylvania are looking for the gunman who fired shots inside this shopping mall Saturday. Reports of gunfire came in just before 5 in the evening in Whitehall Township. Police told shoppers to shelter in place until they cleared the mall. The police chief says officers found casings while searching the facility. Investigators are looking into surveillance video. There are no reports of any victims.
A grand jury is expected to hand down its decision on whether or not to charge the officers involved in the deadly shooting of Breonna Taylor soon. Anticipating that decision could cause a violent reaction, the federal courthouse in Louisville is closed this week. Exactly when the decision will come down isn't known, but it will be sometime this week or next. With that in mind, first-floor windows were boarded up, and other proceedings scheduled for this week will be postponed or conducted virtually. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron's office has been investigating the 26-year-old's death for months. Taylor was shot and killed by police in March when they entered her apartment using a no-knock warrant. Storm after storm after storm, the Gulf Coast has taken a beating. The record-breaking Atlantic hurricane season has caused heartbreaking damage, and the season doesn't end anytime soon. As Britt Conway reports, more than 10 million people along the Gulf Coast are under tropical storm warnings now because of the latest storm, Beta.
The Gulf Coast is bracing for a big storm again. This time it's Beta. There have been so many storms this season, we've made it to the Greek alphabet. The only other time that's ever happened was back in 2005. This season's storms have really battered the Gulf Coast.
You know, it's like every month or every other week we're having to deal with this stuff, so.
Meteorologists say both Texas and Louisiana need to get ready.
Now, landfall at this point is expected to be across portions of Texas, but notice then it makes a sharp right turn and heads back towards Louisiana. That's why both of those states are really in the cone at this point in terms of what types of impacts they'll have.
Louisiana's governor sent out a series of tweets telling people to prepare for heavy rainfall and the threat of storm surge and flooding. Leaders in Texas have been doing the same.
We are not to the worst of it yet. That's one thing I do want to point out to everyone.
Beta's outer bands have already been lashing the coast, but heavy rain is expected Monday along with storm surge.
We're looking at the next couple of days with as much as 15 inches of rain along the coastline.
And that could mean major flooding.
All the places that would flood in a really severe thunderstorm are likely going to flood to this time for more than just a few minutes, though.
Which is why officials want people to pay attention.
Things literally can change in a matter of a few hours or so.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
A search and rescue team in California found a bright spot in an otherwise bleak situation. They pulled this little pup out of the rubble and burned out land they were searching through. They named this bundle of cuteness Trooper. They found him in a metal frame and surrounded by ash on a property in Berry Creek. Trooper has some minor burns, but seemed to appreciate the food and water his rescuers gave him. Authorities say the property owners had several dogs but couldn't find them all before they evacuated. Wildfires have hit California pretty hard this year, and so far at least 3 million acres have burned. This has been the worst fire season in the state's history. Foot Locker is helping voters get a leg up this election year. The athletic retailer is joining forces with Rock the Vote to give voter registration services. Foot Locker customers will be able to sign up to take part in the political process in the stores. CEO Richard Johnson says the plan is to inspire and empower youth culture, end quote. National Voter Registration Day is a nonpartisan campaign that debuted in 2012. According to its website, the organization has registered 3 million people. That's all for national news, and when we return, Rebecca Vaughn will have your business and entertainment update.
It's a Saturday night. You know what that means. Time to party. Sam is having a good time, watching sports, drinking beer, playing Pong. Not a care in the world for Sam. Nobody at the party stopped Sam. They let him walk out the door with his keys, even though he was stumbling, having a hard time to stand up. What happened less than 10 minutes later would change Sam's life forever.
It was chilly this morning in the mid-40s, and you could expect it to be like that tonight and into tomorrow morning. But for today, it is very sunny, and I'm shading myself with this tree. It is 73 degrees right now. The high for today, there's not a cloud in the sky and not a raindrop to be expected today and for most of the week. The temperature's supposed to go up throughout the week, but stay tuned for a 7-day forecast a little later.
host Jimmy Kimmel called it the Pandemies. Sunday night's Emmys telecast was Hollywood's first major awards show since the beginning of COVID-19. The show was live, but the nominees were at home, so some 130 cameras were dispatched to 20 cities and 10 countries for television's biggest night. David Daniels looks at how it all played out.
As you can see, we've taken every safety precaution, and these are tonight's nominees. Hello, everybody.
Jimmy Kimmel hosted a socially distanced 72nd Primetime Emmy Awards.
Eugene Levy, Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek dominated the comedy category as Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara took the top acting awards.
I will forever be grateful to Eugene and Daniel Levy for the opportunity, for bestowing upon me the opportunity to play a woman of a certain age, my age.
Annie Murphy won Supporting Actress honors, and Daniel Levy, Eugene's son, won Comedy Writing, Directing, and Supporting Actor Emmys.
Okay, the internet's about to turn on me. I'm so sorry.
And the Canadian show made it a Schitt sweep by taking Outstanding Comedy Series.
This young man who took our fish out of water story about the Rose family and transformed it into a celebration of inclusivity, a castigation of homophobia, and a declaration of the power of love.
Youth was served in the drama category. Julia Garner won her second straight Supporting Actress trophy for Ozark, and Zendaya's win for Euphoria made her the youngest ever Emmy winner for Best Actress in a Drama.
I just want to say to all my peers out there doing the work in the streets, I see you, I admire you, I thank you, and thank you so much. This is, whoa, okay, thank you.
Billy Crudup took Supporting Actor in a Drama honors for The Morning Show, and Succession won the category's other 4 awards, including Jeremy Strong for Lead Actor and Outstanding Drama Series.
Such a very nice moment, and it's very sad not to be with the cast and some of the crew to share it.
But they were watching and celebrating separately, fitting for an awards show in 2020. Still self-isolating in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Wall Street kicked off this week on a sour note as concerns grow about the economy. The Dow dropped more than 500 points on Monday, while the broader S&P closed more than 1% lower. Both indices are now flirting with falling into a correctional territory after 3 straight weeks of losses. Investors are worried that a second economy stimulus bill may not be in the pipeline yet. Another concern is whether countries will see another lockdown as coronavirus cases grow. The Nasdaq has modest losses on Monday, down 0.1%. American users are flocking to TikTok and WeChat ahead of a ban on downloading them that starts on Sunday. TikTok downloads were up 12% on Friday compared to Thursday. WeChat is seeing a 150% increase. People who have had the apps on their phones will be able to keep using them. The Commerce Department is banning downloads of them, citing national security concerns. Apple is hoping to compete for your money with at-home workouts. Launching a new service that brings the gym to your wrist for a price. Mandy Gaither has more on how it works.
Introducing Apple Fitness Plus.
It's a new service powered by the Apple Watch. The watch's sensors already track heart rate, calories burned, pace, and distance.
With Fitness Plus, you simply choose the workout you want to do from the catalog of videos on your iPhone, iPad, or Apple TV. And when you start the video, it automatically starts the correct workout in your Apple Watch workout app.
Apple says it sends those metrics in real time to the screen you're viewing to work out, putting all the data on your wrist and your device. When the workout is over, you get a summary. The company boasting workouts for everyone, including yoga, cycling, dance, and exercising on the treadmill. You can focus on strength, core, HIIT, rowing, and get help with cool downs. It'll cost you $9.99 per month. Apple says you can share it with your family at no additional charge. The company hoping to compete against at-home fitness companies like Peloton, which has seen its fortune soar this year because of the virus. Peloton recently announced its first ever quarterly profit, bolstered by a 172% surge in sales and more than 1 million people subscribing to its streaming classes. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Peloton recently announced it is cutting the price of its most popular bike by 15% and introducing a higher-priced bike. The price of its treadmill remains just under $4,300, but the company is adding a lower-priced treadmill next year. Coming up after the break, we have Brooke Fuller with sports.
Football, Ben Champ was at Washington High School as they hosted Waynesburg Central.
Waynesburg Central traveled to Washington for a Class 2A Century Conference battle. Both teams came into the game with an 0-1 record. Wash High would get the scoring start early. Mike Allen scores a 25-yard rushing touchdown. The extra point was no good, making the score 6-0 Prexies. After Wash High forced a safety, they would score again on its next drive. On fourth down, Devon Fuse finds Brandon Patterson for a 23-yard touchdown. The extra point was missed again, making it 14-0 early in the first quarter. The Prexies weren't done scoring in the first quarter. Fuse finds the end zone using his feet, making it 30 yards on the ground. The extra point makes it 21-0 in the late first quarter. The Prexies would continue the scoring in the second quarter. Vandell Page plunges into the end zone for a 4-yard rushing touchdown, making it 28-0. Fuse throws for his second touchdown pass, this one to Mike Allen for a 17-yard, and the score is now 35-0. Washington would go on to defeat Waynesburg Central 55-0. The Prexies would finish with 244 yards on the ground and go 1-1 on the season. Waynesburg Central falls to 0-2. For WCTV Sports, I'm Ben Champ.
Washington travels to Chartiers Houston on Friday. Kickoff is at 7. Waynesburg Central hosts Charleroi this Friday night. Kickoff is also at 7 p.m. The Pittsburgh Steelers' 26-21 victory over the Denver Broncos this past Saturday makes them 2-0 heading into Week 3. The game looked to be in favor of the Steelers, but the Broncos seemed to gain momentum in the second half. A huge defensive play sealed the victory for the Steelers. Safety Terrell Edmonds sacked Denver backup quarterback Jeff Driscoll on the 4th and 2 at the Pittsburgh 15 with less than 2 minutes to play. Big Ben took a knee to run out the rest of the clock on the 3rd and goal. The Steelers are back for another home game hosted at Houston Texans Sunday at 1. The game will feature Steelers outside linebacker TJ Watt and fullback Derek Watt facing their older brother JJ Watt for the Texans. The Pittsburgh Pirates couldn't break the 4-game losing streak this last Friday as they hosted the Chicago Cubs, bringing the season record to 15-39. The Pirates will face the Cubs again tonight at home. The first pitch is at 7:05. The President's Athletic Conference has announced preliminary spring scheduling models and postseason championship opportunities for 4 of the league's fall championship sports that have been postponed in August in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Included are the NCAA-defined high-contact risk sports of football, men's and women's soccer, and women's volleyball. The spring schedules will feature conference-only competition. The start dates released for each sport. Football will start March 12th, soccer on March 11th, and volleyball on February 25th. You can get more updates by visiting pacathletics.org. That's all for sports. Here's Brock Owens.
Today is a sunny 73 degrees, and tonight will go down to 45 degrees. No rain is anticipated at all through the day, which is something you should expect all week. Something you shouldn't expect, though, is the temperature to stay down in the low 70s and 60s, because tomorrow the high will be at 77 degrees with the low at 51, and once again it will be sunny. Thursday has the same high of 77 and low of 51, but this time the clouds will be out. Even though the clouds are out, there's a small chance of rain. Friday is the type of weather you wouldn't expect after this past weekend, but the high touches 80 degrees and a 54-degree low. Looking forward to the weekend, Saturday's high stays at 80 degrees with a low of 61. Sunday will pull the temperature down a bit with a high of 74 and a low sitting at 51. There's a 35% chance of rain for Sunday. Next Monday also has a 35% chance of rain, but the temperatures will be up a bit from Sunday with a 77-degree high and a low at 52.
Coming our way, speaking of fall, do you know what today is?
Yeah, it's the first day of fall.
First day of fall. Do you know also today is National Ice Cream Day?
Oh, that's exciting. I know they even SAB was offering ice cream in Stover today for our Waynesburg University students.
Yeah, too bad I couldn't go and get some myself. But that's going to do it for us here on Channel 14 News. I'm Caleb Yauger.
And I'm Rachel Pellegrino. Make sure to tune in every Tuesday, live at 5.
This has been a production of Waynesburg Community Television.